how can you negotiate a higher settlement for your personal injury claim without using a lawyer? Hi, I'm Tom Friedman. I'm a lawyer in Nevada, and if you are injured due to the fault of somebody else, you're probably going to be dealing with the insurance company that insures the person that caused your injury or the corporation that caused you injury. And in order for the insurance company to write you a settlement check, they're going to need proof of two things: liability and damages. So talking about liability first, liability shows that the other person was at fault. So this is simply if you're in a car accident, it's the person that hit you. If it's product liability, your chair collapsed on the ground and you fell, it's the manufacturer is liable. If it's negligent security, it's going to be usually the owner of the buildings or the establishment. Dog bites, it'll be the owner of the dog. You need to prove and provide evidence that that person or entity is at fault for causing you harm. And how can you do that? Well, it's really simple. If it's a criminal type event or if it's a auto accident, you're going to get a police report, and a police report is going to be very, very helpful. Other evidence that's good, videos. Lots of times people in vehicles have videos, people have Ring doorbell videos. If you can get video, that's really great evidence to show that somebody else is at fault. You can get eyewitness testimony if there was somebody there and they said, hey, I saw what happened and here's the scoop, and they're not being sued and they're not suing. They've got no dog in that fight, so their testimony tends to be a little bit more credible. So once you prove liability, somebody is at fault for your injuries, the next thing you have to prove is damages, and you need to provide documentation of your damages. If you do everything you need to do, you submit it to the insurance adjuster and said, look, I've got video showing that this person T-boned me and they're at fault. The insurance adjuster is going to know and the supervisors are going to know, all right, the person or entity that they insure is at fault for causing this person harm. So now they're prepared to write you a check. So how big's that check going to be? That's what everybody wants to know. Well, if you tell them, well, I was really hurt, I felt bad, and my dreams were not happy, they'll say, okay, well, what is your documentation? Well, you've got nothing. Well, if you have nothing and you give them nothing, your check's going to be about the same size. So what you need is actual evidence, actual documentation that they can put in their file to show that you were actually injured by the person or company that they insure. So how do you do that? Well, the simplest thing is medical bills. If you've been hurt, go to the doctor, go get checked out. And they'll give you an exam and they'll say if it was an auto accident, often it's whiplash, sometimes there's lumbar issues, sometimes there's burn from airbags, there's all kinds of things. So go to the doctor, get checked out. If the doctor tells you, hey, you know what, you've got these sprained strains, you need to go to physical therapy or chiropractic 3 times a week for the next 12 or whatever weeks, do it. Because that's going to be evidence that the insurance company can look at and go, oh yeah, well, this is actually documented. We have it right here. This person was hurt. They went and got treatment for their injuries. Why would anyone get treatment if they weren't really hurt? It seems a lot more legitimate that way. And so they'll look at those medical bills and they'll say, all right, our insured, the person we insure, is at fault. This person has medical bills as a result of what our person did, so they are entitled to get their medical bills. Now, if you have estimates for future medical care too, because you're not well after just a few weeks of chiropractic or whatever it is, get that documented, get an estimate for what the future bills are going to be, and submit that to your claims adjuster too. And whenever you submit something to your claims adjuster, always put the claim number on it. The poor claims adjusters have 100, 200, it's close to 300 files sometimes. And so when you call them up, they're not going to remember who you are, generally, even if they're really, really bright people. So always provide the claim number because that's how they track your claims. So the other thing you can give them besides your medical bills is any evidence you lost work. If you've got something from your doctor that says, hey, you can't work for 3 weeks because of the accident, submit that. Then go get your past wages. If you made X dollars per week or month up until the accident for the last year or something like that, give that to them so they can say, oh, look, this person was injured, this person made whatever, $1,500 a week for the last year. Then they were off work for 6 weeks, so we're going to give them 6 times $1,500. Really easy calculation for them. The other component is you're going to be entitled to get something for pain and suffering, and that's not something, unfortunately, where they can just, stick a meter on your head, look at the meter and say, oh boy, this guy's got pain and suffering of 8 to 10 for 17 weeks. There's no medical device that does that, so you need to give them other evidence. You need to tell them, look, I used to work out 3 times a week, and I used to go bowling every Tuesday, and I used to go take dance lessons every Saturday. I haven't been able to go to any of that because of my injuries, and here's whatever evidence I have to show that. If you have pain and suffering for your first week or two and then you're feeling pretty good, your pain and suffering number is going to be fairly small. If you are permanently debilitated and you can't go back to your old hobbies, your pain and suffering is going to be pretty large. So to the best you can, provide that evidence to your claims adjuster, give them the claim number, of course, and that will help them document their file so they can justify giving you a bigger check, not a better check, although I guess bigger and better would be the same thing. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to give me a call, drop me an email. Thanks very much for watching.